Oh boy. I see a dragon. I see, what's her name? Alex Strasser, I believe. Alright, this will be interesting. Let's see what we have here. Huh? Oh god, flashbacks.
You're gonna have to skip like 10 minutes of this shit.
This was a good one. Oh my god, furries. Look, furries. Alright, here we go. The fucking guys dressed as Murlocs win.
For Azeroth!
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazacostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft. But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our Community Council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently and what you're going to see in the upcoming year.
I mean, really, for Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them and us realizing as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard. And so that led us to the changes we made in 9.1.5, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.1.5 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.1.5 into Eternity's End and beyond.
Wait, so they got the message that we don't want to keep doing the same dailies for the next 300 days to get a legendary item. Oh, okay. Let's see how that goes.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
Hang the fuck on. Classic kept happening because they kept getting private servers that were being increasingly popular, and more of the current player base did not want to play retail. They wanted to play vanilla. And Blizzard kept losing more and more in their customers. And then they finally realized one of the ways they can get some money back and plug that problem was by providing this thing that people have been asking for a while. But anyway.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it. And we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery realm, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around. Yeah. Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah. And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So, influence the community, you've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 925.
So you're adding cross-faction play because you don't have enough of a player base on certain servers. Because you already had cross-realm play, which enabled you to play with other people of the same faction on different realms. And you could also play both Horde and Alliance on the same account on the same realm. But now, since you don't fucking have enough people playing the game on retail, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to run raids and groups, you've finally merged the two. I wonder how many people are subscribed to WoW Retail. Because this is one of those decisions that you make when you're desperate.
Which is on a public test realm now as a big
Ian,
centerpiece.
cross-faction. Yep. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still feel like we're being true to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about pride in one's faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then
How? Because if they're your friends and they're your friends on Bina, you can see whatever character they're on. Clearly this guy hasn't actually played the game. Or he just doesn't have any friends. I mean, I'm calling bullshit. These people don't actually play the game.
And with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next, what will come next, want to give a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft,
Has everyone noticed the fake smiles and the head nods? Like when the other person's talking, everyone's like... There's absolutely no comments and discussion. It's all like, we're all reading off the script. And just go... Like... Ugh. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, and I'm going to put it on this so you can hear me. I work in corporate, so I know this takes place, and there's a lot of bullshit. But when this is how they announce an expansion, and you see this, and the things that they're saying don't actually align to how the game plays or how their own platform works in terms of how you friend people on BNet, what you can see on BNet, how you play with your alts, how you play, and what the community as a whole enjoys, you can actually see the disconnect between the people making the decisions and the customer base. You can see the problem. The problem is that these people do not know the product because they don't actually play it. They don't actually use it. They haven't experienced the hardships. They don't know what they're talking about. That's the problem. I don't like where this is going.
We're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW. So without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
Did you just fucking say you're going back to Azeroth? Motherfucker, we've been in Azeroth for 9 expansions.
We've been to Shadowland. That's not Azeroth.
Alright, you've been in Shadowlands for 1 expansion. Okay.
So I'm going back to Azeroth.
Yeah, okay. What are they gonna do now? Another fucking cataclysm? Alright, let's see what's going on. Oh, finally they're gonna play the video. Alright, let's see. What? 10,000 years ago? Oh my god, we're getting a prequel, aren't we?
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers. Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tearhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Ooh.
The world is healing. But her fate is yet uncertain. Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
As soon as I saw the multiple dragons, I thought someone's been busy. Someone's been busy. They've been laying a lot of eggs. Oh.
You know what I thought? You know what? You want to hear something funny about that?
Okay, go for it. I like funny. Go for it.
So, you know how Zappy Boy is considered to be something that the community did and made it into an actual character?
Okay, yeah, Zappy Boy, what did he do?
The community is already starting to build Hyper Stony Boy there.
What, did Zappy Boy do something to a dragon?
No, Zappy Boy was not supposed to be a character that because he was. He became because he was because the community kept asking Blizzard to do it and Blizzard just said okay. And then he made him into a character. Now the community is getting behind Stony Boy there. Like, never have I actually felt so much for a stone giant. Like, I just met you and I've already felt connection now.
Well, the cinematic was actually good. You could see the range of emotions for him and his journey from going to sleep with blind faith in the mission and then waking up and then the sadness of seeing his, comrades face half destroyed, meaning he's probably dead, and then the other ones are dead, and then his lush green island of water now has a freaking volcano on it, and he's climbing up to the top, and he can't activate the system. His king is dead. He climbs up to the top, and his body's literally falling apart as he's trying to, unite these two things together, and he sort of accepts that it's gonna kill him, and he's happy. He's willing to give his life for this task. And he does, and in that moment he accepts his fate, and then he gets picked up by Alexstrasza, which is really cool. So automatically, you can kind of see the type of person he is. And obviously this is pre the curse of flesh that was given to people by the old gods. So he's very, very old, from 10,000 plus years ago, He's one of the OG watchers. But like 100%, I would like to see more. I wouldn't want him to just disappear after this cinematic and just be the quest giver at the beginning that's like, go kill these 10 rodents and I shall give you a reward. You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to be able to tell his story because he's from 10,000 fucking years ago, right? He can be the curator and like the historian that guides us around this place and tells us of how things used to be, how they could have been, the plan that was there, what would have happened, what didn't happen. You know what I mean? He has a central part in the story to bridge the history between 10,000 plus years ago and now. And then you've got that stone diamond guy, I think it's called Magi or whatever he was, the one that spoke with Azeroth, the Earth, right? He should come onto the scene and talk with this guy because, the two of them would have a lot to talk about, and then we can get exposition as to what's been going on from these two, and it should be central to the plot. And then you've got the dragons themselves. They're no longer immortal, but they've been around for a while. They've seen some shit, so they should be there too, having that conversation as well. And then you have some of the older night elves and the elves in general that can also be there, to like bridge this gap, and it would enrich the whole world of Azeroth. I mean, this is one way to do it, because the central focus of the series so far has been World of Warcraft 1 and 2, when the portal was opened between Outlands and Azeroth, and the Orcs came in, right? And then Warcraft 3 was, the second opening, and Frostborn and Lich King and whatnot. And now they're deciding to take a step away from that, but they're also pulling out a little bit and going, okay, we are going beyond this 100 years, or, just under 100 years of time, which we have been so focused on. We have had old gods, we have had watchers, but we've never actually seen the full story. Let's pull the camera back a little bit. Let's not focus so much in the last 100 years of the present. Let's look at what's been going on as a whole. And I'm hoping that as a result of this expansion ties back into what's going on with Illidan, because that was, what are they called? The Pantheon, right? The Pantheon's obviously going to be connected to Stony Boy here and the dragons and all these other things. So we're bridging Azeroth with the rest of the cosmos. It's a much bigger world than we're used to. And I think that's good. And it can be very, 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 very good if the writing is up to scratch. If the lore is up to scratch. If the lore is strong, and I don't want to be like dropping names here, but if they pull off what Elden Ring does by having a rich world of strong lore that entices you to explore, you can have multiple civilizations that might not even be in existence anymore on Azeroth that we can learn about through, say, archaeology or a dungeon or manuscripts or tablets or talking to survivors.
Can I name up another MMO?
Yeah, go for it.
Final Fantasy 14. And there's a lot of things that you're gonna see in there that. So one of the things WoW does best, and people say, is WoW original. No, they do. They steal a lot from other MMOs, and they steal a lot from what other people do, and they make it good. And they've gotten away from that for a while. You're gonna see a lot of stealing from Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy 14.
But that's the point. That's the point. Like, I don't want to be that guy to say just copy and paste what someone else is doing and label it as your own. But no, when something is a good idea, when something is a good innovation, you should adopt it, but build on it. Like when you have...
Yeah, the Anduin, remember the Anduin cinematic?
Yeah.
That was inspired by a Final Fantasy 14 cinematic.
Well, to be fair, Square Enix, they do good cinematics.
Final Fantasy 14 is a damn good game.
No, I get you, but I mean, like, Square Enix is a company more so than just Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is like the 14th increment within Final Fantasy. Just look at Final Fantasy.
It's an actual RPG MMO.
I know, but it bases off and it takes a lot from all the other Final Fantasies. They've had a while to get their formula, and they turned one of the stories into an RPG. I get you. But what I'm saying is Final Fantasy as a series and Square Enix as a company does it really well. They build worlds. That's their bread and butter. And they do it really well with amazing backdrops, amazing music, interesting characters, fun gameplay. They do all that. But what I'm saying is that, yes, you should definitely incorporate things that are good. You should definitely also build on them. Don't just take the same, make it better. The way the games went from 2D over-the-top camera where we used to play, when it went to 3D, it was like the polygons and the squares on PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 and the Dreamcast. And then we went to PlayStation 2, then we had Xbox, then PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. It should always be improved. If something's good. Take inspiration, but improve it. I'd like to say, for example, Metal Gear Rising, that was done by Ninja Theory or Platinum Games or whatever. They created Metal Gear Rising, and then from that they birthed Nier Automata. They took that fluidity and they took that fun gameplay element and they put it in another game, and then they built on it. And then they'll take it from that game and build it into something else, and it will always improve. And of course, there's going to be some people, they're going to point the finger and go like, they took that from fucking this game and that game. I'm like, yeah, so what? The whole point of the industry as a whole is innovation. And if everyone's taking from the other side and improving on it and building on it, the whole industry and the range of games available will always be improving, which is the whole fucking point. Just, that's good.
But let it continue, because there's a lot to go through.
No, that's good. I want that. Like, if WoW's got any chance of remaining alive, it needs to have the good elements of the other MMOs that are still alive and make them better, as well as add new things. That's the only way they're going to survive. That's it. Otherwise, they're fucking dead. Like, it's that simple. Because they're not winning in the graphics department. They're not winning in the gameplay department.
The Damps are not winning the lore department.
Exactly. So, if they want to survive, they got to step up significantly. Significantly. So, yeah, let's see how they go. All right, let's see the rest of this.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw it coming.
Okay, if I was there, I'd ask these three, name the 4 dragon aspects. And I reckon they wouldn't be able to.
I think they might.
I reckon they'd struggle. I reckon they'd fucking struggle. That's what gets me. They're like, dragons. Yeah, dragons. Do you even fucking know the significance of dragons in the lore? Do you know the shit Alex Strauss has been through during Garrosh's days? Have you fucking read War Crimes? Do you even know who Garrosh is?
Have you even seen what the Old Horde did to her?
No, but it wouldn't fucking surprise me. Alright, let's...
It's on par with... They kind of used her as the slave breeding machine.
Oh no, that was Garrosh. He did that with his
Well,
Dragonflight.
that was the Old Horde. That was Warcraft 2.
Yeah, well, she's had it bad twice in a row then. Alright, here we go. Let's see what else there is.
No one saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean, what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles?
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure Span, and each one of those has a connection to a dragonflight that we've seen before. And it's going to be an amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
All right, you know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so...
Can I be a dragon?
Let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Dracthyr race.
Yeah.
This is a draconic race, but dragons in Warcraft have the ability to take on a humanoid form.
What class?
Yay, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I would like to roll a social role. You're in a bar and there's a cute girl in the corner. I would like to talk to her. No, you got to do a quest. No, I'd like to talk to her. We need to play that clip. It's hilarious. Dungeons and Dragons. Let's do it.
What classes can they be?
They have unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft, and not just an allied race, is something that we don't do lightly. But telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it.
Wait, so they're saying that they don't want to add an allied race lightly, but there's been so many races within the Warcraft universe that people have been asking for forever, but they've never even considered them. Come on, guys.
So if you are a Dracthyr, you will be the Evoker class. Dracthyr can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Dracthyr. And the reason why only a Dracthyr could be an Evoker
is because you don't want to have to balance the racials with the different classes?
is that an Evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Dracthyr has, the ability to actually take flight and do an Nixxom-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side, knock everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either range DPS or healer, and they wear male armor. We figured, with the new hero classes,
So basically that male armor looks like Blood Elf armor. Looking at the gold, the red, and the scheme.
And they wear male armor. We figured, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee, we don't need more of those. And also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Dracthyr character?
You mean besides the horn and the tails?
Basically anything and everything. Skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
Yep.
new race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
So, of course, the new expansion brings with it, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. Mm-hmm. And we've heard loud and clear from players that, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp,
Hang the fuck on. Talent revamp. Didn't you just do that an expansion ago? And deeply simplified?
Or the Cataclysm.
Didn't they simplify it? It's gone from individual talent.
That was Cata. Cata was the last time we had the old talent system. They simplified it at the end of Cata, beginning of West. And it's been the same way ever since.
Okay, so what about improving the core mechanics of the game, gameplay, the environment, graphics?
That's what they're talking. They've been at it, improving graphics. Graphics have improved tenfold based on what it used to be.
Okay, let's continue.
in the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid choices, because we know that there's always a right outcome there. And
Wait, let me just say that really quickly. So you're putting all of the things down into one. Druid points available, you've got your Boomkin, you've got your Resto, you've got your Feral, and then you've got your Tank. So instead of having 3 separate trees that are always fighting with each other, you're instead putting them into one tree with 4 different branches. So they could go from one into the other. Okay.
Well, no. So what it is there are 2 separate trees. You have your class tree and you have your spec tree. Your spec tree is always going to be the spec that you're playing. But your other tree is the same tree for everybody. It's the same exact tree, it's just that's the class tree. Everybody gets that. The other tree is unique only to the spec.
Okay. Pretty hard for new players to enter. Yeah, because they haven't made it easy for new players to be introduced to the story. There's too much backstory and not enough ease of entry. That's why they need newer characters to make it easier for new players to identify and root for people. Because if I said Illidan's awesome, you're going to be like, who the fuck's Illidan?
This is directly against those sort of utility hybrid choices because we know that there's always a right outcome there. And we also understand that there's a lot of strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and over here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So,
Clearly, he hasn't played the game. I'm just saying.
And you're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp, this is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. At the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players, new and old alike.
So you're going to incorporate the popular add-ons that everyone's downloading to make the game playable and put them into the system itself? Or are you just going to start banning add-ons again?
No, I think what they're doing is they're just basically doing what they do as a corporate add-on.
Okay.
let's remove elements. If I want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth.
When it comes to specific elements, as much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions
Cringe.
in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming Tradechat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
Ah, yes. And then someone's going to sit on fucking auction house all day on their automated computer and fulfill all the orders instantly from fucking Hong Kong or China. Great.
I think we left out one.
Fucking great. I could see it happening already. There's going to be like one guy that has the game open 24/7 and the bot's basically playing it, fulfilling orders, and then just selling the gold to people. Like, that's the problem.
Well, here's the thing. What they're trying to do makes sense. Because guess what? Other games do the same thing. Final Fantasy did the same thing.
Yeah, but
New World did
yeah,
the
I
same.
get you, but they're going to have to address the problem that Warcraft has of people fucking playing with bots in the AH all day. Because yes, it's a great idea. They've been doing that so badly that it's not even funny. What they
I guarantee if you hire
cooldown system. Cooldown system. If you have one account that's fulfilling 10,000 orders a day, come on. You get what I mean? Have like a cooldown system. Honestly, I would say have a cooldown system, and then the less orders a person has fulfilled, the higher the chance of the order going to them on the auction house. So you could literally have all the profession crafters that opt into this service. If they log on that day, they go to the auction house and they're like, you know, for the next 24 hours, you're eligible to pick up these orders and do them, right? But if you have someone that's at the auction house 24/7, they effectively get the diminishing returns of being there 24/7 and fulfilling all these orders. So if someone that's like there and hasn't fulfilled any orders, they have a higher likelihood of being assigned an order. That way it distributes the amount of work orders across the community on the server. So someone that's playing a bot account is going to be basically punished for doing that. And it helps bring the people that can't play every single day in order to interact with the economy. That would make sense. Something like that. But hey, what would I know about the auction house? I just made millions of gold there.
Thing though, you can be a Dracthyr, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons, if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature that we're calling dragon riding. It's dynamic with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
Finally, they were gonna do mounted flying combat for so long. How much will it cost? It probably won't be relatively that expensive.
Pathfinder is not a thing.
Yeah.
They don't address it in this, but it's Pathfinder, and they will go over it later in the.
I mean, I'm fine with Pathfinder, but they've been fucking talking about flying, and then we're gonna have, I think, in Wrath of the Lich King, aerial combat and things like that. I think it's taken so much time for them. I hope they start implementing those things because they need innovation. Because, okay, your mounts can do all this, but have we made the world beautiful to fly through, or am I flying through the same old shit I've seen a million times?
So this is a skill you learn over time, right, to become an awesome dragon rider?
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. What do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone for our Dracthyr class, as well as a range of systems revamps, such as a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of dragon riding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that you can fly in a sense from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information, and keep an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft. Let's watch the cinematic.
If you fucking nerf the Lich King fight, I will fucking slap all of you. That's all I'm saying. I can see people going, it's too hard! Shut the fuck up.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. When my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
I mean, Wrath of the Lich King was pretty much the pick of Warcraft, so it makes sense the classic would go there. But I'll be honest, I'm not going to play it. I've been there. I've been there. I've done that. I've raided. I was hardcore. I worked my butt off. I spent 6-8 hours raiding progression in Ice Crown Citadel. I like I paid my dues. You know, I had my fun. I'm not necessarily going to do that all over again. Would you go back to WoW if you stream full-time in the future? You could try other MMOs. If I was a full-time gamer online, I wouldn't mind doing it, because if a good chunk of the viewership and the community that are literally helping me be a full-timer wanted me to play it, I would, without a question, I would. But I feel that the likelihood of, people financially supporting me in order to play something that I've played before is not as likely as, say, for example, playing new games. But hey, I'm never going to say never. Say 1,000 people are like, fuck it, we're all going to subscribe to you so we can watch you play Warcraft. I'd do it. Like, if I was, if that was the thing, I'd do it straight away.
Or Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing I think you wouldn't literally fall in love with.
I have no doubt. My whole thing is that while I'm part-time, I have to make a choice. Because if I jump into an MMO, it means we don't have the time for the reactions and the other games. But if we were full-time, we'd have an additional 3 days of streaming every single week. We would literally have double the amount of streaming that we do. And that extra time could be put into MMOs and other projects. And I would love to do it. Like, if I could work full-time as a streamer, I would absolutely love it to bits. I would die happy. Like, that's all I need. I've never been after the materialistic. I don't, I'm not after that shit. I just enjoy playing games. I'm a gamer. And it doesn't matter, like, how much I have or what I do or anything like that. I enjoy gaming. I might get a better computer, I might get a better monitor, but at the end of the day, I'm a gamer deep down, and that makes me happy. Whether there's like 100,000 people watching me or 10 people watching me, I enjoy what I do.
So I'm getting out, but before I go, allow me to say one thing. I'm so looking forward to Classic, because I wasn't the best player back then. My best time was in Pandaria, but I want to go back and play hardcore like I used to, and show that I'm a better person now than I was back then. That makes sense.
For me, Wrath of the Lich King was when I learned how to lead raid groups. I assisted and I was present in multiple raid groups in BC, but Wrath of the Lich King was when I started leading an old group and then started leading a raid group and then started being assigned tasks like guiding people through the, Frostmourne phase in Wrath of the Lich King fight, where you get absorbed into Frostmourne and you got to make sure you step here and everyone's following where it's at. So I started picking up more and more of those roles and learning how to lead people and learning the psychology of people and learning PvP, and then got promoted to like the PvP officer in the guild and started doing all those things. So Wrath of the Lich King does hold a special place in my heart, and it always will, because it was an amazing time, an amazing expansion. And I grew up in World of Warcraft. Those are my stomping grounds. Like, I spent more than 1 or 2 years / play time on World of Warcraft. I know the place like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I completely understand. Two things I will say that aren't announced in here and they were announced in a blue post. One, there is no... okay, so if you remember, LFD came in looking for dungeon, came in as Bath. But it came in at the end. They decided they are not bringing looking for dungeon. They are also going to be looking at the lockout so they don't overload people. Because if you remember, do you remember the lockout system?
I believed it worked on a weekly timer that was resetting on Mondays or Tuesdays. Yeah, I believe it was a weekly timer. You would lock everyone into the raid.
So it was... Here's how it works for those who do not know. You had a 10-man normal, 10-man heroic, 25-man normal, and 25-man heroic, and they did not share a lockout. So you had 4 raids you had to grind every week, and that's not accounting previous raids that you might have to go into.
It wasn't necessary, but people had the option to.
They're trying to cut down or adjust the lockout, but they haven't decided what they're doing with it yet. Because Wrath lockout was insanely. Like, I do not have the time to raid 4 fucking raids every goddamn week.
That's the thing when it comes to being a hardcore raider in something like Wrath of the Lich King. That's what it meant to be a full-time raider. You fucking cleared. Oh, well, you didn't clear Ice Crown and, heroic mode, but you were doing the raid 4 times. Like, you knew the fucking place back to front. You did it so many times that I would get PTSD doing it again. Yeah. If I was a full good night, man. And I'll wrap up soon. If I was a full timer, I wouldn't mind.
It's good hanging out with all of you.
Likewise, if I was a full timer, I wouldn't mind having a few days a week when we play MMOs and we chill and we do all that stuff.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to this expansion.
That's good. I mean, definitely relive it, enjoy it. I'm just gonna dodge it because I know that we have a lot of games to play, a lot of stories to cover.
They show you in the deep dive.
You were saying?
The deep dive is so good. It's like what they showed you in the deep dive solidified that they are moving in the right direction. They just need to get to that point. Like, they're overhauling the profession. That comes from Final Fantasy. The UI. That comes from the Old Republic. Final Fantasy. Fucking every other MMO. Like, that customizable UI.
Because
talent trees are coming back.
Because they...
So many think that they're doing well.
Yeah, but
what I am right now is I'm waiting to see how beta goes. And I'll see what I do. Right now I am subbed because I'm preparing for Wrath Classic. And I will be playing Wrath Classic. But will I play the retail? I don't know. It's gonna be...
It's a do or die moment. Because if they don't improve and innovate, it's a do or die for them.
And it's 6/12 in a month. So good night.
Alright. They're in a do or die situation because if they don't improve what they have, WoW will die. So they have to. The real question is going to come down as to whether or not it's enough to bring players back and whether or not it's enough to entice new players to join. If it isn't, they're in trouble. So they have to put as much as they possibly can and do it properly. Otherwise, they're simply not going to be able to compete with the other MMOs out there. That's the cold, hard truth. Will they pull it off? I mean, a lot of WoW players have been hoping for it since forever. Can they pull it off? Well, it's basically do or die. Like, that's what it's come down to. If this expansion flops, good luck, So, I mean, I'm never going to say never, but, like, I hope they turn it around. I really do. But given what Blizzard's been doing recently, I have my doubts. But I'm hopeful. So, I mean, I'd love it if they do a 180 and it becomes awesome again. I'd fucking love it. But too many corporates making decisions. Not enough gamers. That's the problem. Blizzard used to be by gamers for gamers. Now it's by corporates for sort of gamers sort of thing. It's a bit weird. But I'm hopeful. We'll see how they go. And we'll see how they go with the story. I'm hopeful at the very least they do the story properly and they add lore. That would be the saving grace. That would be the frickin' saving grace. But we'll see. Alright guys, thank you for joining me for this sneaky stream. We're going to follow the news on what's going on. If we get access to alpha, we'll try it. We'll sort of follow it. We'll stay on top of it. We'll see how things progress. Fingers crossed that they do well. I'm always hopeful for WoW to make a comeback because It is something that I've loved for years, ever since I started playing Warcraft 3 when I couldn't even understand or read English. So it's definitely impacted me in many ways. Let's see how they go. But in the meantime, let's enjoy all the other games that we have access to. Let's enjoy all the other content, the movies, the TV shows, and the anime we have access to. And let's just keep binging the good shit. There is a lot of good stuff out there. We've enjoyed games like Ghost of Tsushima. We've played games like Elden Ring. We played The Last of Us Part 1. Part 2 was a little bit... We had Uncharted. We had Metal Gear Solid. We had Devil May Cry. We're playing Mass Effect. We have a lot of good games. The Last of Us. We have... Not The Last of Us. The Walking Dead. Nier Automata. Nier Replicant. We're playing Fire Emblem. There's so many good games, so many good stories. So we have plenty to keep us entertained while this gets developed. And if this turns out really, really well, we can play it and enjoy it. I'm hopeful. I'm not saying yes or no, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm being realistic. So let's just keep an eye on it. Let's share the news amongst each other. You know how we work. If any news comes up, there is a World of Warcraft thread. Post it or tweet it and tag me. Share. I'm following World of Warcraft's Twitter. I'm following World of Warcraft. Yes, Persona. Persona was awesome too. We also play SMT5. I'm also following World of Warcraft on YouTube, Twitter, and stuff. But sometimes the news doesn't get filtered and pushed to everyone. So if you catch wind of any news or a leak or anything like that, tag me, link me, PM me. Do it. I'm interested. But in the meantime... Let's keep gaming, let's keep watching, let's keep memeing, let's just have fun. Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Either we win or we win. We either get a good Warcraft game that we can play, or we play other good games. It just is what it is. At the end of the day, we're gamers and that's what we're here to do. So let's do it. Thank you for joining me on this sneaky stream. I will edit this out and post it on YouTube. So the chat will be on the bottom left as always. Thank you for being awesome, not spoiling, not swearing, not doing anything like that. I will see you guys on YouTube and Discord in the meantime. Don't forget, Friday, we're going to have a bit of a chill stream because we finished playing Elden Ring. Saturday, Danganronpa S. Sunday, Devil May Cry 2. Monday, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's already Wednesday today. Fuck! So Thursday and Friday, we start gaming. The week is so short when you stream 4 days a week. Thank you for joining me. Look after yourselves. I hope you had a good Easter. I hope you had plenty of Easter eggs. I hope you're all getting fat because it's delicious. So look after yourselves. Until next time, Ninja Kuma out. Bye.
Play of the game.